So last week we talked about how to take a front wheel off. This week we're gonna show you guys how to take a rear wheel off. There's a couple of differences that you have to take note. One of them is there are no safety tabs on the rear wheel like there were on the front, so no unscrewing needed in terms of the quick release. With a nutted axle, everything is gonna be the same except you just loosen up the axle nuts. With the quick release, you would open up a lever. Before we get to that, we have to make sure we have enough clearance for the tire. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up the brakes, same way as the front. We're gonna squeeze the two brake levers together until we get that cable past the little bridge part right here, just like that, and then release it, and you can see the brakes are now open to remove the rear wheel. Another unique step to the rear wheel is we wanna make sure we shift it into the highest gear, and that just makes clearing the chain much easier. So now that we have the brakes open, we have the chain in the highest gear, we're gonna just simply open the quick release and hold on to the wheel if it's in a stand, because it will just drop right out like that. Now, what I do to help clear that chain is I kind of push on the derailleur cage, and that gives enough slack in the chain. So now that you can just drop that wheel, take it out of the chain, and then that's it. Putting it back in is the same thing, just in reverse. So we're gonna push on that derailleur cage, make sure we line it up with whatever gear we had it in. Remember, I shifted it into the highest gear. So I'm gonna line that chain up into the highest gear and then just kind of lift everything up. Make sure I get the axle onto the dropouts. And then I'm gonna pull up so that both sides of the axle are going as high as they can so the wheel doesn't get crooked like that. So I'm gonna pull up evenly. I'm gonna close that lever. And then I'm gonna go back up to the top right here, and I'm gonna squeeze. You can use your hands and squeeze the two levers, brake arms together. Lift up that little bridge so that the cable drops in there. Make sure the end of that noodle goes through the little bridge like that. Slide the dust cover back. You can give that brake lever a good couple of squeezes to make sure everything is reset. And then you can just spin the wheel to make sure it's not rubbing on the brake pads, and that's it.